I just finished public school, I'll tell you why it's great. Waking up at 6 a.m. to pledge allegiance to the state. Yeah, it's true. I got my public school blues. My teacher.
Here we go. It's that kind of after show.
All right. So, anything else on facts that you think is important?
I try to stay away from them. They tend to get in the way.
Well, it is everything that you say that everything that you assert as a fact is like a new place for a disagreement to occur.
Right.
So, well, I don't agree with your facts, or I have some facts about your facts, or I have some statistics about your statistics. You know, that kind of thing. And the two ways to simplify these kinds of arguments. Now, this I like to think that what we've developed here is a pretty comprehensive approach that deals with all of it. But the one way is to look at the other person's argumentation, more specifically, their logic and their rhetoric. If they're just inconsistencies and logical fallacies all over the place, you've identified that their position is untenable, or they really just don't have a leg to stand on. But if they also reject moral principles, like first principles, like the non-aggression principle, and like you say, these are the things we need to agree on. And from there, like the rest of this stuff should kind of sort itself out. If those two things aren't in place, like bickering about little factoids is not really important, and you're probably not having a very productive debate.
Right.
Number 5, ideological flexibility. If you agree that your opponent can clearly demonstrate that your argument contains numerous inconsistencies, contradictions, or other general errors in reasoning, you will follow up by doing all of the following. Number 1, avoid launching into an emotion-driven invective against your opponent, including ad hominem attacks, aka fight. Number 2, avoid the taking my ball and going home tactic, where you say something like, I've had it with this. There's no talking to you, and everyone is entitled to their opinion anyway. Goodbye, aka flight.
We need to agree to disagree.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's a great way to stop a potentially meaningful discussion because it's getting kind of uncomfortable, right? Well, we're all entitled to our opinions. You know, we agree to disagree, right? Like all opinions are created equal because people have them.
Well, this is why they say you shouldn't just talk to people about politics.
Well, yeah, and that's what I explain that to kids in the SAT class all the time when we talk about persuasive writing. I say, we say these nice kinds of things like everyone's entitled to their opinion, but not all our opinions are equal.
Right.
If I'm a astrophysicist and a geologist, and I'm debating a guy who's got a hat on made out of tinfoil, claims that the Earth is hollow and aliens live in it, those are not equal opinions because they don't. One is much higher up as far as it's the foundation of facts that are underneath it.
Right. I think we've been trained by the media to automatically assume there's always two sides to every story, and not every story has two sides.
No, absolutely not.
The media actually goes overboard on what they refer to as balance, by showing two sides to every story. And there is a law on the internet, they call it Skarka's law, that says there is no position so vile that you can't find somebody who will defend it. And that's a lot of times what you end up resorting to when you're determined to show both sides of every story.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And Fox News was famous for that, where they'd find, some really wacky far out left winger, and they'd say, well, there's the view from the other side. Well, we don't say we don't have these people on. So, that was number 2. Number 3, admit that your position needs additional research and consideration. So this is the follow-up. If your argument can be exposed as fallacious or having significant inconsistencies, these are the things you must do. Number 3, admit that your position needs additional research and consideration. Number 4, agree to consume 2 pieces of educational media chosen for you by your opponent, i.e. articles, book excerpts, videos, podcasts, etc. And that is the debate contract. For the last 2 hours, we've gone over a draft of this, and I encourage people to take it. I'll put it up in the show notes for this. I'll put a PDF of it on, or I'll try to get it as a Word document. Take it, copy it, paste it, change it, simplify it. That was one of your criticisms, Osborne, was the mechanics of it, right? You said it was a little bit too clunky, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit too much. I mean, it's like when you meet a nice young lady at the drinking establishment and take her home with you. You don't, pull out your AIDS test results and have them, properly initialed, and
You don't-
what happens the next day.
You don't have to establish a
here's-
mutually agreed upon definition of orgasm.
Here's the way I'm going to insert my penis into you. Those kind of things.
Yeah, you just have sloppy, drunken fucking, which is what most of these debates are. Okay?
Yeah,
Which is
no,
what
Public school, you keep me in good mental health, 'cause without